So in the past, I was this person who was doing all his assignments literally just days before the deadline. And this wasn't just limited to my assignments. Like, I was studying for exams just a couple of days before the exams actually took place. And you can probably assume the quality of the work that I produced. Like, most of my assignments were garbage. They were just copy pasted from a fellow student with some minor changes. And my grades were horrible too. I flunked a bunch of subjects in high school, physics, chem, maths, and they just gave me some grace marks to put me through. I had a laundry list of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to program. I wanted to start a YouTube channel sooner. I wanted to start a side hustle. But the truth was, I didn't do any of these things. I didn't do things that were not urgent or were of immediate concern to me. In short, I was a serial procrastinator. But that is not who I am anymore. My name is Jibreal Khan, and I've been a software engineer at Fortune 500 companies like Dell Technologies, AMD. Additionally, I've been the top performing student in my bachelor's program and my master's program. And I was able to do all of these things while lifting weight and training martial arts 6 times a week. My goal is to help men quit procrastination and live up to their fullest potential. So I hope that my personal transformation lends some credibility to what I'm about to say next. Look, this isn't going to be one of those cute clickbaity videos where I talk to you about a quick 5-minute fix or I talk to you about the Pomodoro technique. Nah, in my opinion, these things do not work in the long run. They are catchy topics that get you views, but they don't actually work. Because I've been a serial procrastinator myself. I have been in the war zone. I've tried hundreds of such things, and I realized that 99% of what you see on the internet is just garbage. It doesn't work. But in this video, I am going to talk about the 1% of things that did a lot for me, that really improved the quality of my life and allowed me to just eliminate procrastination once and for all. And I know it for a fact that they will improve the quality of your life too. But these things are not quick fixes. They actually require some major lifestyle changes, but they're so worth it. It's so rewarding. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So looking back into my past and observing my life, I realized that one of the biggest reasons why I was procrastinating was because of the type of food that I was eating. Now, growing up, you all must have heard, hey, do not eat fast food, do not eat junk food, it makes you fat. And that's what I thought, that all junk food does is makes you put on an extra few pounds, and that's not that bad of a deal. It's not that much of an issue, right? I'm a bit chubby, I'm a bit fat, so what? I get to eat tasty food, McDonald's, ice cream, chips 7 days a week. That's not a bad trade at all. But it is only now that I realize that no, that's not what fast food does. That's nothing compared to the real damage of fast food. Fast food damages your mind, your brain, the way you think. It makes you unmotivated. It makes you tired. It gives you brain fog. It makes you confused. And you're like depressed. You're like a depressed zombie when you're on fast food. Sure, you get that temporary dopamine hit, but after that, your life is actually much worse. Like, let me tell you this real life incident from my life. When I was in the peak of consuming fast food, I couldn't concentrate for more than 20 minutes on a task. Like, literally, I used to sit down and try to study. And within 20 minutes, I was like agitated, bored, felt this weird feeling in my body, this burst of energy trying to pop out. And I was constantly bored and felt like I needed more stimulation. My attention span literally was just of 20 minutes when I was eating processed garbage food. Like, do this experiment right now. Literally pick up some processed food. I don't know, some biscuits, some cookies or chips, whatever it may be. Look at the ingredients behind it. Like, you're going to see that most of these things have like 10, 15 ingredients in them. Like, these things did not grow naturally. They were not animals roaming around in the world, or they didn't come out from the earth like plants. No, these are unnatural things. They were designed by some scientist wearing a lab coat in his factory and making that substance as addictive as possible to make a lot of money selling that stuff. And then when you consume this processed, unnatural stuff that your digestive system is probably not used to consuming because none of your ancestors had this stuff before, then you get all these symptoms. You get brain fog, you shorten your attention span, you get inflammation all throughout your body, you're constantly tired and fatigued, and then you wonder why you have no motivation. And then you see these influencers on Instagram telling you, hey, use the Pomodoro technique. Like, the Pomodoro technique is magically going to fix all of these things. No, it's not. Like, here's a fun fact. The McDonald's fries that you see, it has 19 ingredients in it. 19 ingredients in French fries. What do you think they're adding to it? It's not just a potato and salt. They're adding a bunch of stuff to it that your body was never designed to consume. So once I finally discovered that processed food was causing this much damage to my brain, I tried to quit all of this processed garbage cold turkey. But the truth is that I wasn't able to. Like I'd been addicted to these things for 10, 20 plus years, and I cannot just leave it all cold turkey. I had these urges, these cravings, and I had to use raw motivation to stop them. And I always failed like after a day or two. So what I started doing was I started fasting. And I know it doesn't make any sense. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I started doing fasts that were 20 hours long. Like for 20 hours, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have anything. Not even healthy food. I just want my body to be empty. I don't want to consume anything. And after the 20-hour fast, I used to have like one large meal consisting of healthy, nutritional, rich food. Like I used to have meat, I used to have salad, I used to have honey, I used to have dates, I used to have fruits. It was pretty much composed of whole natural food. So this fasting experiment lasted for a couple of weeks. And during that time, I felt absolutely amazing. Like, when your body does not have food in its system for like 15, 16 hours, it begins to produce something called ketones. Like, these are super food for the brain. It's like 1,000 motivational speakers flowing through your body. Like, your body begins to produce its own alternative source of energy. And that is like, wow, that was very, very rejuvenating. It was like I got recharged. Also, your body begins to eat its decaying cells. It's like it has its own innate mechanism of detoxifying itself. It begins to consume the decaying dead cells. And the best benefit was that I stopped having any of these cravings to fast food, cravings of sugar that I previously used to have. It's like those regions of my brain were just switched off. Magic. I know this sounds absurd. I know it sounds unbelievable, but I would urge you to give this a shot. Like, go on a fast of 20 hours long for the next 3 or 4 days. Like, first day, 2 day are probably going to suck because your body is not used to it. But from like day 3, 4, 5, you're going to start feeling amazing. You're going to realize that there's no inflammation in your body, no body ache, body pain, which is unexplainable. No brain fog. Like, you are not going to feel like a zombie and you don't know what's up. And you're going to feel like your mood has increased, your drive has increased, and your attention span is much, much more. Like, my attention span during this period of fasting for weeks went from 20 minutes to 4 hours. Of course, I did a few other things as well, but I would contribute a lot of this improvement to fasting and not consuming processed garbage food. So once I was done with like 4 or 5 weeks of fasting for 20 hours, I realized that I had healed my body and mind. I was no longer procrastinating. My attention span was amazing. My mood and my drive was amazing. But I felt like I needed more nutrients. Like, fasting for 20 hours for the rest of your life is not quite sustainable. So I decided to lower my fasting window. So now I was just fasting for 16 hours and I had like 8 hours to eat food. So in those 8 hours, I had like 2 large nutritious meals, and this lifestyle was a lot more sustainable. So in my opinion, if you are procrastinating due to your diet, you have some inclination that, okay, this is probably why I feel so messed up, do a few hard fasts for like a week or two, and then switch to the 16-8 approach where you're just fasting for 16 hours and eating food for 8 hours. Look, now you might say that, oh, 16 hours is too long. I can never imagine myself fasting for that long. It honestly isn't, and I'll tell you why. If you don't eat food 2 hours before you go to sleep, like have your dinner 2 hours before you go to sleep, and try to push your breakfast to 2 hours after you wake up, then you have already completed 12 hours of fasting because you sleep for 8 hours. And after that, it's just the matter of pushing your breakfast further and further away. And before you know it, you will have adapted your body to fasting. You will be well into ketosis and you will be good to go. And one other thing that I noticed was during my eating window, like the 8 hours in which I'm actually allowed to eat in my 16-8 protocol, if I consumed carbohydrates from grains, from rice, from pasta, from noodles, then I felt a lot worse. Like, I used to have this carb crash and I used to feel fatigued and tired once again. But when I had carbs in the form of fruits, honey, dates, then I felt pretty good. It was okay. It wasn't bad at all. Not as bad as having carbs in the form of grains and stuff. When I look around and I see that 90% of people have like horrendous diets and they procrastinate because of that, I feel that the root cause of the procrastination is always left unfixed. Like, you see a bunch of YouTube videos on procrastination, but they never address that you are what you eat. Like, you are going to think different thoughts if you consume shitty stuff. If you're someone who's ambitious and you would like to achieve a lot in life, but procrastination and bad habits, they're just really pinning you down, then make sure that you click on the link in the description and book a free one-on-one call with me, and perhaps we can help you out.